Thanks for watching the Look Ahead forecast brought to you with our very good friends at EasyMelt. I'm Simon Keeling and it's Friday the 22nd of November. Thanks so much for all your birthday wishes yesterday. I wonder how you possibly knew. Anyway, just a reminder that we keep the site free of charge by you coming back and using the site. It's you that do that. You know, you support us through the adverts, you support us through using the charts, etc. at the website, and by giving the feedback and suggesting new charts. So thanks again for doing that. Lots of new users as well on at the moment, so thank you for coming along to weatherweb.net. Hopefully you'll stay here now. We do the videos every day, the look ahead videos, and we do the fast forecasts each day as well. So loads to fill your boots with here, and of course don't forget to check out the weather musings. Now, because it's a Friday, we take a look ahead at how the longer range models are performing, and an old friend is back. I'll show you that old friend in just a moment. Been absent for a while, but of course it's Friday, and that means that the JMA is available, the Japanese Met Agency model, which has been fairly reliable. However, the problem is that at the moment we've got real problems with the ensembles and the long ranges. They're kind of in big disagreement with each other in terms of how things develop. So we've got to kind of try and pick through the noise and try and work out what's going on here. I think because we've got differences between them, we can kind of save and deduce from that there's a change going on in the atmosphere. There's some sort of process going on that's trying to shift the overall patterns. It may well be that it's just dripping into winter, particularly given that parts of Europe have been so mild recently. It might just be that it's that temperature change going into winter that's doing it, but we just need to watch it. Anyway, excuse me. This is the week 1 forecast from the JMA. So this is taking us from yesterday, from the 21st of November, through until the 29th. So this is taking us up to next Friday. And what this one shows is this big ridge, look, through the UK, trough across Europe here. So this is the area of high pressure out here. Let's just do that in a different colour. And that's exactly what we're seeing just at the moment. Interesting to see this double ridge feature here across the Pacific and the States, and also this feature here too, the ridge there across central parts of Russia. This 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern setup normally takes us into a more blocked pattern, but if you look at this week 2, which is going forward from the 29th through until the 20 through until now, when would it be? It's the 5th, of course. And we see this change, look. You see how the JMA is trying to build a weak ridge here in the Atlantic and putting in the lower than normal heights here, northern parts of the States here. So we've got a trough feature up here. We then got this weak sort of trough feature here that's kind of extended down from this one. This sort of cut-off trough, which would bring more unsettled and milder conditions across most of the British Isles. It's then got this building heights here. It's very weak building heights across Europe, which would be a ridge of high pressure again, and it kind of just morphs this feature here, look, just into one big mass coming in from across Russia there, across the pole, and down into the western parts of the Pacific, into the eastern parts of the Pacific. This just doesn't look right to me. Now we just look at the CFS just to compare the two. This is week 1 from the CFS, and there's our area of high pressure, look, exactly as we've just seen through the British Isles. So there's our ridge that was firmly in place. If we go into week 2, take a look at this. Look, what this does is it builds the ridge out towards the east. It has this section off the coast of the States, off the eastern coast of the States. Trough in the Atlantic, yes, here, look, and this is kind of the jet coming up here, but here's the flow around the area of high pressure, so it tries to make far more of the Scandinavian high than the JMA is making of it. And also, you notice here, look, it is blending in this increase in heights. These are anomalously high heights from those central parts of Russia into the eastern parts of the Pacific too. But it puts more detail in this region here, makes far more of the high here. So this is kind of a confusing thing going into the early stages of December, and it's really tricky to try and pick out what's going to happen here and how this is going to develop. And, you know, I kind of, in some respects, put my hands up here and say, do you know what? I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen here. And at times in weather forecasting, that's exactly what you have to do. There are times when you just can't see through that noise. So this is the forecast then for the next 2 weeks that take us forward from the 6th of December. And this is taking us then up to the 20th of December. And this one becomes a little clearer because on this set, remember that this is the 2 week period. So we've got this building heights look back through the UK. So we're hinted at high pressure trying to be in somewhere up here. And the flow probably doing something like so. We've got a trough out here. We have a deep trough here off the eastern states, taking some really cold weather down into Canada and into eastern parts of the states. And we've got the Pacific Ridge built in here. Interestingly, with this cross-polar flow here coming across the pole. So this looks a better angle on things for that middle part of December. So the emphasis still on dry weather in that middle part of the month. And the CFS is looking like this. This is week 3 from the 5th till the 11th. And look, we've actually got some agreement here building in. Here's the area of high pressure. Look, building through the UK, Scandinavia. The flow would be something like that, going around that area. And also notice here, look, the cross-polar flow here coming from the Pacific across into those central and eastern parts of Russia. So we've got more of an agreement here, and this would put us into these dry conditions in the middle part of the month and potentially much colder conditions as well. Now, if we then take a look at week 4, this is week 4 from the 12th to the 18th, and what this is doing is it then flips again. It lowers the heights in the Atlantic, look. So it's actually putting low pressure in here. It then puts the Scandinavian high off towards the east. So the flow is doing something like so around this. Well, we've got a southwesterly flow here. Now, very early days, but this could be a very interesting one. I have to say it doesn't particularly look that correct to me, but this is one that we need to watch carefully because there is a zone here of cold air and warm air meeting through the UK. So could we go into potentially wintry conditions in that middle part of the month? We could well do, with quite a contrast in conditions from two extremes across the country. Perhaps snow through Scotland and northern England, milder across more southern parts of the country with heavier rain there. So that's an interesting setup, and it is interesting that CFS just keeps this block in here from the eastern Pacific going around the into the eastern parts of Asia, and also builds this high here across the eastern parts of the States. Some interesting developments taking place now. An old friend we haven't seen for a while, simply because the model hasn't been available. And it is now. So this is the Korean update. Yeah, the Korean is back. These are the anomalies for the middle part of December that are showing here. And on this one, what it's trying to do is to, again, show the blocking high look to the east of the country. This is what we've just seen on the CFS. It also then tries to lower the heights here in the Atlantic with this big eastern Pacific ridge to the east of Asia, look, as well as being across the western sides of the States. And it also builds in this southeasterly flow in the middle part of December. So this backs up this idea of something wintry potentially in the middle part of December. Then, as we get into late December, it then builds the high in and builds the heights through the Atlantic, look, through the UK, also across these southern parts of the States. And again, it maintains this big area of blocking high pressure, look, over the, well, off the western coasts of the States. So we still get high pressure in here. And again, we've got this blocking high feature trying to build through here. So it could potentially be that after that cold middle part of December, the end of the month, the end of December potentially remains in these cold conditions. Then, as we go into the later stages of December, which is, to the early part of January, which is that one there, I just wanted to show you the changes here. Look, so I've left that mask on, and what happens here is that the heights lower here, so they're lowering across Spain, across Portugal, across those western parts of Europe. They're higher further north through here, and we're actually seeing pressure building up here as well. This then brings us into an easterly flow, so into a cold early part of January. Now, I'm going to leave you with that for now, because there's so much more that I can go through on the models with you, and I'm going to do that tomorrow as we take a look perhaps a little bit further ahead and think about December, January and February too. So we'll cover that tomorrow. But for now, I just want you to kind of look at what's going on and take in this idea that the middle part of December, the early part of December is one where we're just not sure how that's going to pan out, but things do look like becoming cooler in the middle part of the month, potentially with some wintry weather in there. Now, please don't go running off, doing a Daily Express headline thing of blizzards everywhere, but certainly that middle part of December looks as if there could be some wintry weather, but we are in that battleground, so we only need the milder air to get further north, and it can be much, much milder. The end of the month looks cooler, as does the early part of January. So, loads of information there for you. Just a reminder, we're kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen. When you come back and use the site, that's what generates revenue that keeps us free of charge. So, thanks for watching, and keep the sun shining, and bye for now.